Welcome, one and all, to Dreadful Frights at the Backlot, Perth, presented by Perth horror fans. I'm your host, Soxy the Salacious Spectre. We begin tonight by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging leaders. Tonight's feature presentation is The Monolith Monsters. This 1957 American science fiction, natural disaster, medical thriller, and at times unintentional comedy film was based on a short story by Jack Arnold and Robert M. Fresco, which was adapted into a screenplay by Fresco and Norman Jolly, and is one of the most science and pseudoscience heavy sci-fi films of its time, including long technical discussions of not only geology, but also chemistry, medicine, and meteorology, some of which is absurdly wrong. Arnold had originally intended to make the film himself. However, when he was offered to direct The Incredible Shrinking Man, which had a significantly bigger budget, he soon handed the project over to John Sherwood, who had previously worked for Arnold in the 1956 film The Creature Walks Among Us. Sadly, this was to be Sherwood's final science fiction film, as he passed away after contracting pneumonia in early 1959 while working as a second unit director on Pillow Talk, which he was not credited for. The special effects in the film were created by Clifford Stein, whose career began with 1933's King Kong. In fact, some of his work from 1953's It Came from Outer Space was recycled into the beginning of this film, and because of his sometimes secretive work ethic, no one quite knows how he created the monolith effects, which, if you look very closely, you can see them expand both in depth and width as they grow higher, which most likely incorporated some form of optical illusion and forced perspective. Starring Grant Williams, Lola Albright, Les Tremayne, Trev Bardet, and beginning with an uncredited narration by Paul Frees, who was known as the Man of 1,000 Voices, with his most famous role being Boris Badenov in The Rocky and Bullwinkle Show. This B-grade film, which in some ways was very much a product of its time, with many experts believing that the monsters within it may have even been a metaphor for the common belief that Soviet spies were lurking in every corner of America, has gone on to inspire many aspects of pop culture, with some scenes even appearing briefly in John Carpenter's They Live in 1988 and Roland Emmerich's Independence Day in 1996. And was most notably the inspiration for the basis of Tiberium in the Command and Conquer video game series. And now, the Monolith Monsters.